We experience the world through a lens of solidity. The environment appears to be composed of fixed, unyielding objects, like this wooden desk. Yet, at the scale of particles, that density vanishes. Theoretical physics reveals that matter consists primarily of empty space and localized kinetic energy. Theoretical physics models the universe as a dynamic spectrum of frequencies and probabilities, displacing the standard view of a static inventory of objects. We are using this physical framework as a formal metaphor. It is a structural tool for understanding information processing, rather than a claim of literal reality bending. This approach bypasses the typical tropes of manifestation pseudoscience, focusing instead on the intersection of theoretical models and behavioral psychology. We can apply the mathematical principles of string theory and quantum mechanics to create a functional algorithm for cognitive change. This algorithm forms the basis of Doron Yitzakov's YES model. The model outlines the process by which directed intention selects a single outcome from a field of probabilistic features. By treating physical laws as a blueprint for behavior, we can develop a more precise method for navigating professional and personal transitions. String theory provides the first component of our model, the concept of a foundational substrate. If we zoom past the nucleus of an atom, we find no solid spheres. Instead, current theory suggests the existence of tiny, continuous vibrations. The specific frequency of a string's vibration determines the identity of the particle it becomes, much like the tension of a guitar string dictates the pitch of a musical note. This vibration generates a specific geometric oscillation, a mathematical signature that defines what is possible for that particle. This physical law provides a template for understanding human cognitive states. Cognitive science suggests our internal states, our focus and intent, act as informational filters, organizing perceptions and reactions at a specific operational frequency. When we treat a behavioral baseline as a tuned frequency, shifting a real-world outcome requires us to first recalibrate the informational filter at the source. We cannot expect a different output from a system until we alter the foundational frequency of its inputs. String theory requires the existence of 10 or 11 dimensions to remain mathematically consistent. These extra dimensions are visualized as complex, multi-layered geometric structures called Calabi-Yau manifolds. They represent geometries hidden from our standard three-dimensional view. In our model, these hidden geometries represent a possibility space. This is where multiple potential future trajectories exist as simultaneous mathematical potentials. However, the existence of a potential path does not mean that path will be occupied. Occupying a specific path requires resonance, the physical phenomenon where two systems vibrating at the identical frequency begin to amplify each other. To actualize a goal, the internal cognitive frequency must align with the informational signature of the desired target state. This alignment creates a bridge, narrowing the individual's focus and actions toward a specific coordinate within the possibility space. Success is the result of selecting and amplifying a pre-existing possibility through mental resonance. While string theory describes the material, quantum mechanics provides the mechanism for execution. In a state of superposition, a quantum particle exists as a wide probability wave. It represents a cloud of theoretical locations occurring simultaneously. This wave remains in a state of flux until a measurement is taken. This is known as the observer effect. The act of measurement forces the complex wave to collapse into a single defined coordinate in reality. As the system is observed, the probability wave collapses into a single data point. We can apply the logic of this collapse to executive decision-making. In this behavioral context, observation is the application of sustained attention toward a specific objective. Sustained attention serves as the trigger, collapsing chaotic possibilities into one concrete action. Potential remains trapped as an unactualized probability until focus is applied to force a definitive outcome. We often assume progress must follow a slow, incremental curve, but quantum models suggest an entirely different path. In the Bohr model, an electron moves from one energy state to another by vanishing from one orbital and reappearing in the next. There is no intermediate path between the 2 points. While habit formation involves repetition, the underlying cognitive commitment can undergo a discrete phase shift, a moment where the internal logic of a person's behavior changes. This mirrors the quantum leap. Once the internal criteria for a new state are met, the individual begins operating under a new logic, bypassing the friction of the old state. This shift is supported by quantum entanglement, where particles remain synchronized across vast distances. We model entanglement as a form of non-local psychological commitment, a persistent tether to a specific outcome. Once this commitment is established, the psychological system begins to unconsciously synchronize its various components to match the target. Behavioral transformation follows this nonlinear path, where a shift in commitment triggers a synchronization across the individual's entire operating system. These principles converge in the final algorithm of the yes model. The yes represents a specific internal state of structural alignment, where the individual's operating logic matches their desired objective. Achieving this state requires filtering out the interference caused by doubt and divided focus. Step 1 is tuning. Like a vibrating guitar string, you use resonance to align your internal state with your target. Step 2 applies sustained attention to collapse the probability wave. Together, this focus isolates a single possibility from hidden dimensions, translating it into a concrete result. This dual-step process is the mechanism that turns theoretical potential into observable reality. We are not merely passive observers of a predetermined universe. By consciously applying this framework, you take on the active role of the conductor of your own psychological processes. By tuning your frequency and directing your focus, you actively select, collapse, and actualize the future you choose.